There we go. So, um, we're going to welcome back to our another tutorial. We're going to be making stairs and windows, so we can add. Okay, let me start from the beginning. We're going to be making stairs and windows, but give them more. But we're also going to give them more life to it than the average office window. God, that's so depressing. Ugh, God, so depressing. Ugh. Wait a minute. At least this one's not that bad. And this one's not that bad either. But some windows could, some office windows could be very depressing. So, so we're gonna go and make some stairs and some windows, and we're also gonna be adding kind of like a second level to um, our environment. So let's get started. So let's say here. So now back to our previous environment. Um, if you're kind of like cluing into this video now, and you haven't watched part one, I would recommend that you would watch part one. So you would have a basic understanding of how to do like modular sets, like the bare bones, like the walls, the columns, even these door arches. And then later throughout the series, we are actually going to be making textures for them. And I'll also show you the whole BPR texture reference. I mean, um, physically based rendered textures. So of course we're going to model this for Unreal Engine 4. So anyways, so let's say here in this small but yet ridiculous area, we have kind of like a nice courtyard or whatever, or kind of like a hallway where there's kind of like a nice set of stairs. So I'm gonna grab a box and I'm gonna go and switch back to my ortho view, and I'm gonna press Alt W. So while I'm still seeing my perspective view, I could see in my orthographic view where I could begin making it. So if I go into my front view, I actually go to auto grid. By turning off grid, I can do this. Oops. Okay, that I know it's not the right height, but that'll do. It doesn't matter where your object is made. Oops. And I'm going to right click and convert it to winnable poly, and I'm going to call this woo. Let's just say um, just say um, room for starters. And pretty much I can snap these guys together. So I could say our stairs would be here in our actual environment, but I'm not going to make the actual room bigger. So I'm actually going to create a, so I'm just going to call this stairwell floor. Stairwell floor. It could be gritty, it could be anything, and you could basically use the same walls to determine like where it would be, or you would just make like completely different walls instead. So one way of making an actual stairwell is, so I have my guy right here. Ooh, head is way too big. So I'm just going to snap it, and I'm going to line it up with our wall right here. So I'm going to make like a small little box. So one way of making like a set of stairs is kind of like making a box, and what would really help a lot would be to unfreeze our character and actually put him in front of this box right here. So of course there would kind of be like two ways of actually doing it. So I would actually make it in this height, or I would actually make it more of a reasonable step, like up at the ankle. So for example, if we look at our character, he's about 192 units. So pretty much if you do the math, so he's 6 feet tall, and it makes him 192 units. So we do some quick math real quick. 192 divided by 6 would be 32 units. So technically, I would make it 32 units, because that would be a foot. Because that would be a foot in Unreal Engine 4. So I'm just going to name this stairs. Is it actually the right spelling? Or? Yeah, stairs. Okay, perfect. So, and then pretty much there's either like one or two ways you could do this. You could either do this with just like a simple box and then just clone it up, or you can go over to the primitive section and go to the top bottom list, or go to the list right here under your standard primitives, and then you could select stairs, and I can do kind of like a straight stairs in that direction, and maybe a little bit like that, so you can actually bring it up a bit, or actually railing. And pretty much you can edit it like on how big it is. You can add like railing. You can make it a closed off. You can make it a box. And you could also raise like the overall thickness as well. So anyways, we will be right back, and we shall resume this later. So I'll be right back. So, on with the stairs. So I showed you like two ways that you can do it, with um, the stairs section in the creative tab. And now we're just going to do it with just box modeling. So you too could also make a set of stairs that way as well. So I'm going to name these stairs, I'm going to say about 10. So I would say that would be our set of steps. And we could just simply just do this guy. Let's just select our character as well, and our steps as well, and this wall. Now go into isolation mode. So let's go and focus on this view, on our ortho view. So what I could do is I'm just going to collapse all of these as an oval poly. I'll be right back. So, as I was saying, we are going to continue working on this now that I have maximized, now that I have minimized any distractions. So, actually, let me do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to convert this to an oval poly, and I'm going to duplicate it. and I'm going to press attach. And then let me just adjust the volume a bit. Okay. So I'm just going to simply do this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to delete like some of these faces so that we can weld them properly for later. Weld. And to really help us out, I'm going to go into realistic. Nope. XView shows statistics. There we go. That's not what I was looking for. Oh yeah, open edges. There we go. And then just simply weld them together by doing this, this, this. And if I turn so if we turn XView off, open edges, our geometry is welded, and we're all good. Our set of stairs is good. Our set of stairs is good to go. Now we can either enclose this, or we could just add like a new railing, but I'm going to close this off and just like create like two different walls. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm snapping it together, and I'm pressing bridge, and all I need to do is just create the geometry to support the rest of the edge loops so that I could extrude them. So I'm going to exit out of isolation and back into isolation, only selecting my stairs. And I'm going to select, I'm going to select this face, and then I'm going to go into slice plane to create the geometry, rotate it by 90 degrees, and then snapping it to every vertex. So slice, 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 slice. And also doing, I almost forgot, and also doing the same thing horizontally as well. So I'm rotating this again by 90 degrees, and rinse and repeat. Slice, 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 and that's it. And then the only thing that we have to do is like bridge these polygons. And to save us a whole load of time and productivity, I'm going to um, symmetry this and work with this half. So for example, if we go in there, and then pretty much what I do this side also affects the other. So I could just simply just bridge, or I could just press the bridge button and then just do this every time. Or I could just press delete and then just an edge. I could just extrude and then just snap it to here, and then just do the same thing. Extrude, snap, extrude, snap. I don't have to worry about welding it until it's done. And then I can go into X view, open edges, so it can show me where the geometry hasn't been officially been welded. So we just select this entire edge loop while avoiding to select this one. Or I could just go into the back view and just marquee select. And then just press weld. And then I could do the same thing here. 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 And then finally I could just select the rest of these guys and just press weld. And also forget about these guys too. Press weld. Done. It's welded. And I can actually move on. And then when I'm done with it, I could just press collapse all. And then just press yes. I have to control delete. Or I can actually I'm having that mixed up with something else. Anyways, let's move on with adding some railing. So I'm going to select the whole set of stairs that I have. Then I'm going to switch over to faces, and then I'm just going to marquee select, and then just unselect those faces. And then I can go to extrude. I could just extrude my polygons. Ah, here's the fun part. I could actually select these faces. Actually plane them out. Nope. And go to modeling, and then just press make planar. Well, of course they would do that. Of course, if we would have done that, it would also flatten our stairs, and all of our hard work would have been for nothing. So the best way to fix this is I'm going to press the extrude button, and I'm going to extrude this by local normal. I'm actually going to bring this out a bit, but not too much. And then after that, I'm just gonna make them flat. And I'm also gonna get out of snaps as well. I'll just bring my stairs up a bit so we can have a nice, perfect railing. And then what we can do is I can still use symmetry to fix my problems in my geometry. Just gonna give me symmetry. Of course, I'm gonna flip it. There we go. I really hate this color, so I'm gonna change this to I'm gonna change this to white, and I'm gonna change my selection to red. There. Just to make things easier for us. And then I'm going to actually I might as well just do this manually. Let's just do it by symmetry, I guess. I could just do it from that view. And then pretty much I can switch to screen. I can just stretch it out by the line. I also can go into Alt-W and actually see what the faces would look like. So of course, right off the bat, they're gonna look bad. But if we use, actually, I'm actually gonna check if there's endpoints for a sec. Because in some but in some certain circumstances, we could just leave them the way they are, as long as it's not interfering with our geometry. I think we can work with it, I guess. Just actually make this a railing. No, what, I'm actually going to do that. I'm actually going to separate them. So I'm just going to go to delete polygons. I'm going to go back. I'm going to undo all this. And then I'm just going to do is press extrude. Bring this up a bit. W. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to detach them. I'm going to call this railing. Actually, I have an idea. Actually, I have another excellent idea that we could try. Detach railing. So we can go back into here, W, and just fixed everything. So ultimately I can have it like this, and then just for the rest, I can just planar map it. Actually, that would work. There we go. Now it looks nice. So now we have our set of stairs. So now we have our basic set of stairs. And then what I could just do is I can just simply just scale it a bit more inward. Actually, I like the thickness. So I'm going to turn on snaps and then just move it somewhere. And then just move it somewhere. So I'm just going to move a friend like right over here. Oh, I need to turn open edges off. So then pretty much I could just create like a new set of geometry around here. And I could just do is I could just attach and pretty much just re-weld these guys. Okay, I think we've encountered a technical glitch. Actually, I want to check to see if this is true. Okay, I may have to restart Max, so I will be right back. So anyways, let's get back to it. So X view, open edges, and there's 0 open edges. So then what I can do is, I can select these polygons, and then I can go into polygons, and then I could just simply just extrude. If I wanted to create kind of like a semi floor for our stairs. If I wanted to create like another level, so here would just be like the other level for it. Okay, that's good. And then I could just do like the same thing, so it would just separate it, and then you would just have like 2 different entrances. And then pretty much what I could do is I could add like another set of edge loops here, chamfer, and then just add our like another set of steps like around here. Or I could just simply just make it as big as this. Add another set of edge loops. Go to top view, and then just go and select these polygons, and then just press delete. And pretty much what you would just do, kind of like just to make kind of like your next set of steps, would just be just to do simply just select this set of geometry, holding down Shift, on the element, and then just rotating it 90 degrees. And there you would make a third level. So forth. Or pretty much if you want to make this easy for yourselves, just select these vertices, then these vertices, and then just snap them to the next set of polygons. And they're pretty much made by the same set of faces. And thus we have to take a small break. So I'll be right back. So we're back. And so just like any other modular sets, you just keep the geometry separate. Or just move it. And this would just be the start of like the next room or something. I think it's just better if I just move this thing like over here. Just to make room. Oh, I almost forgot. And you can also have another set of stairs that look exactly similar, but you can actually weld it. Delete. Symmetry. Live. There. So that's one way of having it. Get my thoughts together. Okay. So, as we were leaving off, so I could just simply just shift drag, and shift, snap it together. So to make this scene, let's just shift it to like the next set of vertices. We're going to move this staircase a bit so we can see and know what we are working on. X. Simply just lump these guys together. So 17, 16, 7, 14. And just simply just shift drag using edge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then just turn on realistic or plus sign X view, and we're going to go to open edges. And then we're going to press Alt X. And then we are going to put a 2. And also over here, we're going to do, I need bridge. And then finally I'm going to put this bridge here. So I'm going to I'm going to move this over here, and here, load. Okay, done. And finally, if I want my polygon face, so it selects. So I just want this face right here. And just shift drag on the element. Rotate it by 90 degrees. And just align it to here. Just bring it back. Just shift it back. So we're going to put on shaded Z. And then I'm just going to press target weld. And I'm going to weld it to all the vertices here. Actually, you know what? This is tedious. just going to press weld. Then I'm going to select all the vertices here. And I'm just going to scale it by X until it's 0. That's it. And that's pretty much how you make steps. So now, for our office windows, the actual glass. So I'm going to take an existing wall that we did, and our steps, and I'm going to take this guy with us to etched, no, perspective. I'm going to go into perspective. I'm going to, nope, ortho. So I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call this actually, this seems better. We already have like an existing wall here, so I'm just going to on this guy, and I'm just going to go to X view. I'm going to turn off open edges, and this could be office window or window. And I'm going to make this into a fancy window. So I'm going to press connect. Excuse me. Then I'm going to select like both of these vertices from the bottom and the back. I mean, from the front and the back. I'm going to press chamfer. Bring this in a bit. And then I'm going to double click on these edge loops. And then I'm going to press chamfer. I'm going to press delete. I'm going to bridge these together. Press bridge. And then what I can do is I could just holding down shift and then pressing down on shift. I'm going to clone them. I'm going to press clone to element, and then I'm just going to hit extrude. I'm going to do this in the model. Extrude this a bit. Select this for elements. Bring this down a bit. Now what you do is you would just bring these edges up and then just adding it in an edge loop, chamfering it. Bring it out a bit with Y, and just pressing extrude. And then just scaling it out again, clone to element. But this time I'm going to flip these polygons, and then what I intend to do is I'm going to go into border, and I'm going to press cap. I'm going to grab this by elements, and then I'm going to scale it down by Y, and then I'm just going to bring this up a bit. That would be our glass. So I'm going to detach this, and I'm going to call this glass. And then I'm going to go into effect pivot, centered object, and pretty much to save polygons, I just simply just shift and then just press delete. And if I want to show that it's actually glass in 3ds Max, I can go into my material editor, and I can just drop down my opacity to about, let's say 40, and I can just simply just drag it. Done. I have glass now. And then pretty much if I want to add like geometry to it, because I forgot. Should do. Let's remove this. And then just do the same thing on the other side. And you're pretty much done. And then just do the same thing. Control delete. And you're pretty much done with the actual window itself. But if you actually want to add like some Roman-esque columns, that's easy. Standard primitives, boxes. So I'm just going to create this like right here. Then I'm going to call this window column. I'm going to call this window column. And I'm going to right click this as another poly. And if you actually want to make this like part of the actual model, only you would just do is just snap like the actual faces to the actual wall itself. So pretty much we would do is we would just make our column normally. So before I actually start off with this, I'm actually going to symmetry this. I'm going to go from here, I'm going to go Z, I'm going to flip it. So anything I do up at the bottom will also affect the top. So then I'm just going to do this. I'm going to insert this. So this would be pretty much like the bare basic column. But we can add to it as well. It doesn't have to be limited to how thick it is. We can also make it pure smaller, or just very small, if you ask me. But just leave it like this. And then pretty much when we're done with this, I'm just going to call this low column. I'm going to collapse it. Actually, I'm going to keep it as an level poly. Chamfer. We need to give it more of a shape. We need our column to have more of a Roman-esque shape. So I'm guessing right around 3 would do. Yeah, something like that. Just gonna bring this up a bit. Alright, just scale it up a bit. There we go. And add like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then just chamfer it at a small amount. Oh, that's ridiculous. On the amount of polys that we don't need on an object. And then I can just simply just select and just use shift selection to select all these polygons. And what we can do is I'm going to scale it up a bit with Z. Just make it big enough. I think that'll do. And then press extrude, but use local normal. I'm going to reset the extrusion and then just drag it back slightly until it's about like -10. And just press OK. And then after that, you can just simply just drag it back in. You can also press that grow and just fix it if you want to. can get small and big. Really doesn't matter. And then you can select like all these edges to make it more, to make it have more like a more of a smoother edge. So I'm just gonna reset this. I'm gonna add it to right about here, about 0.4, and then just press OK. And then when you're done with this, you can simply select the last edge loop, and then just press chamfer, and then do the same thing on the other side. But I think it's best if we just isolate this and then just do the same for like all sides. And then just bring our chamfer a bit out. And there we have it. Control Shift E. Control Shift E. Oh. Same thing. Control Shift E. Then we do the same thing on the other side. Control Shift E. And Control Shift E. And that's about it. So then you can just collapse your modifier stack and then bring around this edge. Control Delete. You could also do the same thing with down at the bottom too. I'm just going to leave it as is. And then just place it seamlessly on the other side. And then you can just put it in if you want. And you can just put it in if you want to. And then pretty much we can fix this up. Press S and then just dragging it down a bit. There we go. There we have it. And then pretty much you can just attach it to the object and then just delete those faces up at the top. You could do that either way, or just keep them aligned. And you can basically just flatten the object. You can also flatten the object too. Or just cut in half and then just snap it between the wall. Like so. So I'm just going to clone this, make this column master. So anything I do with this one would not affect this one because this would be my master copy. I could change it the way I wanted it to be. Connect. Just press delete. And just bring them. And there you have it. And then I would just press hide selection. And that is pretty much it. That is part 2 of our tutorial for modular sets. So in our third part, we will go over like how to unwrap them, or pretty much, we're probably either going to do that, or we're pretty much going to make our low polygon model, or I'm just going to make like a basic window. You guys could do just a square, just like we did with this one, but not with the door, just with this, but black paper. So we can have like 2 sets of these windows, the boring one and a fancy one like this one. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go and save this out. Modular set tutorial. Always save. So I'm gonna save. So I'm gonna save this as my second version. So anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that this is very helpful. And anyways, I will catch you all later.